All right, welcome back to the STEAM Academy podcast. My name is Aven, and I am here with Coach Vaughan.
Hey, what's up, Aven?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Lovely. All right, so getting right into it. So, what do you teach?
Well, I teach English 1 and journalism currently. Yeah.
All right. Which one of those is your favorite subject to teach?
Oh, I like them both. I'm very much a fan of both. They're in some ways very similar, and then in some ways they're very different.
Yeah.
But I like how it kind of changes up my day because we're dealing, in one case, we're dealing with, strictly like writing and literature, and like I love that world a lot.
Yeah.
But then I get to kind of change gears and get into content creation and journalism and telling, real stories that matter.
Yeah.
And I dig that too a lot. So
Yeah, I dig it too.
Yeah.
I also just like how it's, sort of multimedia
Yeah.
with journalism, music, podcasts like this, stories, newscasts,
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's really interesting. I really like this class. So where are you from?
Born and raised here in Lexington.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm a Lexingtonian.
How old are you?
Yeah. I'm over 40.
Really? Never would have guessed. Where'd you go to college?
So, that's a long and sordid tale. I was
You
not.
got time?
Yeah. Well, it was a journey. So, right out of high school,
Oh, where'd you go to high school?
Lafayette.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm a Lafayette general. And then so once I left Lafayette, I actually went to a really small rural college up in Grayson, Kentucky called Kentucky Christian. So this is like a small private Christian college.
Where's that in relation to
East.
Lexington?
So way east.
Like in the triangle-y bit.
Yeah.
Off of the,
yeah. Heading towards the sticks for sure.
Most places are the sticks.
Yeah.
It's
So,
Kentucky.
Yeah. So Grayson was a really small town. It still is, but not much to do. Go to McDonald's. There was a really fantastic cliff. You could dive into a lake. So cliff diving was kind of another pastime. But this was a private college that both my brothers went to. And
Oh, you have brothers?
Yeah,
oh, wait.
two
I think
older
I met
brothers.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, back in English 1, first year, you brought one of them in.
Yeah. I remember that.
Actually, did you bring both of them? Or was
They
just
were
one?
both. They were.
Yeah, it was both of them. I don't remember their names, but I remember that they were there and that they looked a lot like you.
Yeah. Larry and Phil.
Yeah, that's the ones, Larry and Phil. Yeah.
So they were actually they both were headed into the ministry, and I thought I might be going the same route, believe it or not. And
I mean, I believe it. You were in a church band with my dad for a little while, weren't you?
Yep. I sure was. So then a semester into that, and I first realized.
Can you pause recording?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
geez.
I'll just keep the recording going.
All right, I'll just cut it out. All right.
All right, let me back up 2 seconds. And so, like a semester into that, I realized that the town was way too small. So, not a chance that I was going to survive there. So, I came back to Lexington and hit reset and did some couple classes at Lexington Community College, now BCTC.
Oh, LCC? Yeah, that's my mom did a couple classes back there. She has a story where they were supposed to, like at her high school, they were supposed to dress like with the merch of the college they wanted to go to. And this guy had a shirt that had the LCC logo on it, but instead of Lexington Community College, it said Last Chance College because they'll take anyone.
That's absolutely right. Yeah. Back in the day, that's what we called it, Last Chance College.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad got a lot of his credits done at BCTC too, so, interesting facts about me.
Yeah.
And I went there last semester and the semester before that. But
So,
hey, I'm back.
And you're back. And so, I did that for a little bit, but then I was just still feeling like I just didn't know where I fit in.
What type of classes were you taking, like for a specific degree or just taking classes?
Oh, just general stuff.
Just like universal studies type classes, just random science, random English.
I mean, all the basics that your history before 18 whatever and history after
1865, I think is the cutoff.
1865. Com 181, some
I
basic
took Com
English.
181. I almost failed that class.
Yeah, yeah.
but I did not.
English, so some of the basic English electives. But then twist of fate, I ended up at another private college up in Cincinnati. Um, and I spent 2 years up there still just kind of
What's the name of that college?
floating. And so that was Cincinnati Christian University, so another private Christian university. And I started to get my legs underneath me there and started to think about, kind of how college works. If you're catching this story, like college was rough for me at the beginning. Just kind of floating around and kind of directionless, really. Had a lot of fun, that's for sure. But I was not racking up the credits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, my brother changed majors like 3 times.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so I was that
history
dude.
to education to nursing to history to geology now.
Yeah, I was really all over the map. But then I ended up in the IT world, and I jumped into the workforce, and so I started working. So it was a little later in life when I felt that calling to teaching, and it just hit me like
how old were you?
I mean, oh my gosh, I was in my early 30s.
Jeez, really?
Yeah. I was in my early 30s, and I already had an established career in the IT field. I was working in Louisville, and for a large IT firm, and I was making a lot of money, but I was not happy. There was something missing in my life. And it really just kind of I remember this one year I was out with some friends, we were having some coffee, and these were a couple of guys that really know me. And we just had
still
a
friends
really,
with them?
oh yeah. And we had this
back.
really, really deep conversation about like life's calling and life's purpose. And I remember walking away from that moment, that coffee, and knowing that I was about to do something radical. So
Radical, yeah.
So fast forward, before I knew it, I had jumped back over to Eastern Kentucky University as an adult learner, and then I bounced from my Fortune 500 job. One day, I gave him a 2-week notice, but I was like, I'm going to do something different, and so I quit that job and started subbing for Fayette County Schools.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess. Did you have to get like a substitute license or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
So, do you need a degree for that? Or just anybody
to sub?
Yeah.
To sub, you need. I'm not sure what their current regulations are now. I think probably it's like 30 plus college hours. You gotta have some credentials to sub for sure.
I mean, like in the education field.
But you don't need a teaching degree per se to sub. And so that's what I did. Is I jumped in over at Lafayette High School and started subbing every day. About a week after subbing,
like Mr. Hewlett does.
Yep. And
so like a permanent sub type thing.
At first, I was playing without a net. I was just subbing day to day. Like, please let me come in. Please let me come in. And a week later, it dawned on me like, hey, they're gonna ask me to be a permanent sub here. And so I stayed at Lafayette for quite some time and finished my degree. A few years. Yeah.
So were you doing your degree at UK during that time?
EKU. Yeah.
Oh, like online or what?
Yep.
Oh, cool. My
Yep.
dad has an online degree from UK in nursing.
And then I rolled from EKU directly into a master's program at University of Cumberland's. And
Where's
at that, so the master's in teaching. I got a master's degree in teaching.
Where's Cumberland? I don't know where that is.
It's down in Williamsburg, Kentucky. Fact check me. Also an online degree, and that was a lot of fun. I couldn't get enough of it at that point. I was I was so hungry for this field, and it just felt very natural. I just absolutely loved it.
So how long have you been teaching at STEAM?
I came here in 2014. STEAM had been open 1 year when I showed up.
Fact check. Yes, it is in Williamsburg, Kentucky.
Good.
You are correct.
Oh, I was about to say Williamstown. I was like, no, that's not right. It's Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Literally, I only showed up in Williamsburg to walk after I got my degree.
Yeah, so like south edge of Kentucky, like.
Yep. Yeah,
pretty
it's
much
down
due
there. It's a
south.
beautiful campus, by the way. Gorgeous down there. It
Yeah, I was
really
looking at
is.
Google Maps and I was like,
Yeah.
Tennessee? No, because I looked up Cumberland University instead of University of Cumberland, and I was like, this seems
Yeah,
incorrect.
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so you like it here at STEAM, obviously. Otherwise, you wouldn't
Obviously.
have been here.
Obviously.
So
Yeah.
why'd you decide to start teaching journalism along with English? Because I know for a while you were just teaching English and humanities.
Yep.
For like the longest time.
Yep.
I mean, that's when I first had your class freshman year.
Yep.
I had you for English 1.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I passed.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. You did well. You
Yeah.
did really well.
I didn't get you yet, so I'm gonna be so honest. I wasn't sure how to feel about you in freshman year, and I was very excited when I got Miss. What was her name?
Patrick?
No,
Who'd you have?
what was her name?
After
Miss
me.
Stanley or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I had her
Miss
first
Staley.
semester before she left, and I really liked having her class. But now that I'm a senior and I get your humor. I really, I was a very confused freshman about it. I was like,
Well,
what?
no, I mean, I'm with you, Aven. I think we finally really locked in this year.
Yeah.
And it's been so awesome.
Yeah, it's been a really fun class to have.
But to answer your question, journalism just, I think I just got into this concept of media literacy and content creation. Those two concepts were touching me in my life in just deep ways, and I was like, I'm passionate about this, and and I love quality journalism, and I for a long time.
I mean, who doesn't?
And for a long time, I think it just was a hobby of mine where I saw a lot of bad journalism, and I would be listening to whatever, some journalism on. I'm not going to call anybody out, but like I'd be listening to something and be like,
Joe Rogan podcast.
that is such trash. They are telling half the story, and I just got passionate about it, and I was like, man, this is something that kids can do,
Yeah.
and a lot of times I was thinking kids can do this better than adults are doing it, and so that led to more kind of journalistic assignments in English, right? Like because those worlds kind of overlap a little bit. So
Yeah, with the whole writing thing,
yeah,
But
right.
you couldn't really do all of the journalism things that you wanted to do in just an English class. You wanted to like focus on that with a
Yeah,
class.
100%.
And, be able to use the sound studio for
Yeah.
a specific class.
And if I'm honest, I kind of saw STEAM Academy being a little bit of a news desert, if we're just being honest. So it just felt like, I mean, not to disparage our communication. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that as far as student voice involved in telling the stories, like there just wasn't a constant platform of that.
Yeah, I mean, we had like the like Instagram pages, like Steam Barstool or whatever it is,
Right.
all that, where people are, just talking.
Yeah.
And love that for them. But, it's not really a sort of credible thing. We never really had a student newspaper, which I think is an important part of any high school ecosystem is having a school paper.
Yeah.
I think. And it's just a good place to, know what's going on rather than just wading through a bunch of notifications in your emails trying to look for the weekly update from Dr. Flores,
Right.
which does not tell everything you need to know because he doesn't know everything all the time. He's not omnipotent. I mean,
Right.
he's the closest thing there can be because he's Dr. Flores and he is all-knowing.
Yeah. He's the man. Just shout out to Dr. Flores, my boss.
Shout out Dr. Flores.
Yeah, love that guy. So, yeah, no, I hear you. It absolutely, I think it improves the school experience for students. It creates relationships. It creates conversation, and it empowers students to have a voice, to have advocacy for themselves.
Yeah.
And the challenge, I think, is in high school, it's like getting kids to care, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's the constant challenge, and that's the uphill kind of trudge that we are going through. I mean, it as we launched this website.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep people engaged and coming back and reading.
Because there was like a huge spike in engagement like the first couple of days that we were there was a huge spike in engagement like the first few days after the launch and day of launch, huge
Yep.
spike. But
Yep.
then it just, dips and flows depending on whether or not somebody,
Does.
releases an article and tells their friends. And that's how we get any viewership at all.
Sure.
Like, I don't think there are very many people that are checking Steam News every day or most days or anything, unless their friend tells them, "Oh, did you see that?" Because like maybe one of their friends or a friend of a friend wrote an article and they thought it was cool or something.
Right.
But I think writing more news about pop culture or just like things about Steam that you're not gonna get from regular news sources, I think that's what really draws more people to Steam News rather than just regular news sites, because it's about Steam and they care if it's something close to them, and maybe they're featured in it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what we're trying to tap into. But you hit on a big point there, is that like there in the world that we live in, the media just saturated world that we live in, there are a billion choices, and people get in their own little bubbles and get on their TikTok feeds or their Instagram feeds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there are a billion choices. So why?
I mean, there's also 500 million bad choices.
Yeah. There's a lot of trash out there, but why will the question that we have to grapple with is, why is a kid going to go to STEAMacademynews.com and care enough to engage and read, and so that's the challenge that we face every day, and really that's the challenge of any journalist.
I mean, I'd say plug the news site, but we also have been saying the name of the site the entire time, and also they're probably listening on the site. So,
STEAMacademynews.com.
STEAMacademynews.com.
Yeah. Go there, visit, engage.
I mean, you're probably listening to it on the website.
Yes,
maybe.
probably.
Or at least if you are listening to this, you've been to the website.
Right.
I mean, unless you're a rando. Hello, people from Florida.
Hello.
Who knows?
Hello.
So did you ever think about maybe doing journalism as a club instead of a class?
We actually, no, I mean, no, not really.
Because I guess we're just like, it needs more commitment than just a club can get. Speaking of clubs, did you ever run any clubs? I mean, I know that you ran a chess club, but I don't remember what the other club was that ran alongside it, and chess club ended forever ago, and honestly, there were so few people in it that I just used it to just mess around until my best friend got off of
there
her
was
class.
a chess club. I was also STLP sponsor
That's
for
the
a
one,
few
yeah.
years.
The STLP, that was like literally next door.
Yeah. Now in the very capable hands of Mr. Brian Wilson and Miss Schwarz, they're killing it upstairs, just taking care of business with STLP.
Yeah. He's the one with where Miss Ward used to be?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had him during, whatever. I had him for last semester at some point for a project or something. I don't remember what, but so what's your favorite project or lesson that you've done this semester or have done in the past?
I think the one that's getting a lot of traction with students is photojournalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still something that is engaging kids, and sorry, I gotta have to do that whole sentence over. I think the thing that's getting a lot of traction. Nope. Need a coffee or water. I think the thing that's getting a lot of traction is photojournalism. Kids are still pretty engaged in that experience, and realizing that using a camera and using a pen are both ways of storytelling. And so I think that heightens a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And, if I'm honest, because I don't know if a lot of freshmen will listen to this, but it's a little, I play a little bit of a hoodwink on them. I trick them a little bit, like, ooh, cameras. Let's also research. But hopefully by the time I am like, hey, let's get into an academic database and look up some stuff.
I mean, I have a couple of friends that are taking English 1 or are freshmen that are doing photojournalism, and they actively talk about it. They're just like I helped one of my friends do project I think for photojournalism where she was just walking around the school just taking pictures of a rat plushie doing weird things.
Yeah.
So shout out Evangeline.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I had to go into Miss Boytek's room and take a piece of fishing line and just make it so it just looks like the rat is just flying over El Centro.
Nice.
Yeah. Proud moment. So, yep.
Okay.
So,
let's pause for a second. I need to go put my eyes on my class real quick.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, I was about to just do an outro.
Oh, okay. Well, hang on. Let's do the old pause feature here. So if you hit it, back into
So,
it.
what was your favorite article written this semester?
Say it again.
So, what was your favorite article written this semester?
On STEAM Academy News?
Yeah.
Well, I would say I really enjoyed our first experience covering Miss Bell.
Oh, yeah.
I really did.
How do you feel about the podcast?
I felt good. Felt really good about it. And I
Yeah.
think I got a lot of feedback from students and teachers that had listened to it. And
They like it?
Yeah. And I think it was just great to like bring her in for an actual
Wish I could have gotten her like actually on the podcast. That would have been cool. But hopefully this one will be better quality than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad quality. It's just I didn't really know what I was doing.
right.
So-
we were all learning through that
but
experience.
so the first article.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you plan on continuing to do journalism next semester, next year, next whenever?
I think so. I think it's actually growing a little bit here at STEAM, and I like the direction it's headed. So I could actually be teaching more of it. So we'll see.
Like less English, more journalism, maybe like one, maybe more than one. Can we restart that? So, teaching more journalism than English, like maybe more than one class of journalism, like.
Yeah. I'm thinking
Yeah.
that might be the direction that we're headed. So
Okay, cool. That's really awesome. I wish there was a way for kids that are at BCTC to be able to write articles, but I mean, hey, maybe I can just email you stuff.
yeah,
knows?
and absolutely you could. You can totally be a journalist for us and not be in the building.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And even having you back to talk with younger kids as this program grows, I think is also another cool opportunity.
I'm an old man.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast, Coach. See you soon, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
awesome. Appreciate you
thanks
having
for
me on.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the STEAM Academy podcast. I'm Aven, and that was Coach Vaughan. We will see you next time.